Don't cough, Grant. Don't cough.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I think that's what you said on the last one, too.
Oh, it's so bad.
All right.
It's so... I don't want to put it in my body.
I'm Grant,
And I'm Stephanie.
and this
It's
is
Hot
Hot
Ones.
Well, Stephanie, we're back.
We're back. It's been 5 years.
5 years. Who would have thought we'd be here again?
I knew we would do it again.
I don't know. I mean, as we approached our anniversary, we did not have anything set in stone on what we were going to do, and then you just very subtly planted a seed. Why don't we do our 10-year anniversary Hot Ones?
I knew this is what I wanted to do.
So, the format of the show today will be thus. Stephanie has got a list of questions. If you're not familiar with how the game works, we are going to be eating these delicious Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets and putting them in progressively hotter hot sauces, starting from least to greatest.
Grant, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
How are you around spicy food? Do you like it?
I've been sampling a lot of spicy food the past 24 hours and picking these 10 sauces because there was about 20, and this is what we narrowed it down to, especially to get these last 5, to get them hot enough to make this a little spicy.
Yes.
See what I did there?
It's going to be a spicy interview.
That's right. So, did you have something you wanted to ask before we did our first wing?
Well, since it's been 5 years, what has changed in our lives since we last did the Hot Ones Challenge?
What hasn't changed? All right, so 5 years ago was COVID.
2020.
We were trapped in our house with our first and only child of the time.
She couldn't talk.
She couldn't speak. She had just learned to walk, which was really cool that we got to do that. But honestly, we were very scared and alone during that time too. And I would say the biggest difference since then, 5 years later, is that we're anything but alone. Not just in our own house, now that we have 4 kids instead of 1, but I think that we've been able to be loved by a community of amazing people. We've got family, we've got friends in town, and I feel like we're in a much, I would say, happier place than we were 5 years ago.
I would agree. So, in the past 5 years, we have had 3 more children. We've lost a dog. We moved. I stopped teaching and became a stay-at-home mom. I feel like everything, just huge changes, not just little small ones. We started going to church more, and our community's grown, I feel like. And so, just big, great changes, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Should we eat a wing on that one?
And our sauce number 1 is Local Hive.
That is right.
Honey hot sauce.
Yeah, that is right.
Where did you find this one?
I found this one at Publix. I thought
Is that how much sauce you're going to put on your wing?
Yeah, is that not enough?
I'm going to put that much on mine.
Well, I've tasted
I'm
this.
trying to set the tone here. I might already be thinking about water.
The first one I feel like always gets you no matter how spicy it is. It's first thing in your belly.
We're going to really try to rally past the milk and water to the end.
I don't even have milk, so.
I know you've got Coke. In tradition with last time. 5 years ago, we were very much invested in the show. I think overall it's maybe been 9 years the show's been on, maybe
9
even
is
10.
what we noticed last night.
So how has the show itself, which is on YouTube, changed in the past 5 years to you?
So, I feel like the show's just gotten very mainstream.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was very niche. And it was exciting and it seemed kind of thrown together.
Yeah, kind of like our set.
Kind of like our setup. Now you have huge stars on it. So before, I think it started just as a show where they interviewed rappers, it seemed
Rappers and comedians.
Maybe some comedians. And now it seems Lady Gaga was on there. I'm trying to think of another famous person. We hadn't
Pretty much every A-list celebrity minus The Rock,
Yeah.
because I think has been on the show.
And I kind of like lost a little bit of faith in it when I saw Khloe Kardashian on it. So I was just like, what is she even famous for? You know? Why?
She's famous for being famous.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I think that the show has definitely jumped the shark and has become too mainstream. So we actually last night went and watched a newer episode, which actually was pretty good.
It was a good one. It was a good person.
And then we watched a one from 9 years ago. And I mean, the difference is so dramatic that you miss really the heart and soul of the show, which is that it's more personal. But because especially after COVID too, they extended the tables out. It's not like two people right here just like eating chicken wings and
Like
talking
at a
to each other.
restaurant.
Right. It's more like, you know, the format of the show. We've got really good questions, and we know little tidbits about your life, and you're going to go, oh, how did you know that? And it's going to plug whatever thing you're in.
Yeah, and I feel like what really broke the show was during COVID, they did the interviews from people's homes.
Yeah.
And I just felt like it never got better from there. And I understand everyone was doing what they needed to do, but the interviews from home just really kind of tanked it for me.
Really, that whole time of life of everything at home, too.
Yeah.
I think that we are at this point in 2025, it's starting to become pretty apparent that you need to be around people
Yes.
in everything that you do. Work, home, church, social life. You can't live on the computer, although they want us to.
They do.
Are you ready to go into garlic and peppercini?
I think so. This one we did try last night, and I feel like it has the most unique taste.
Look at that color.
It's green. My question for you is, what advice would you give the 2020 version of Grant?
Invest in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Anything besides that?
You need a little something because I'm still chewing.
I think that 5 years ago, our life was very granular. It was very small.
Mm-hmm.
And I would encourage the Grant of that time to not be afraid to be vulnerable to other people and find out that you might actually have a lot more in common with them than you think. What about you?
I like that you said you would encourage, because that's what I would do to 2020 Stephanie. I feel like 2020 Stephanie needs to hear that she can do things that are difficult and not to give up on those things. I feel like I've always had a problem with failure so much that I sometimes won't even try something new. And so doing something like this is kind of like out of my comfort zone completely, but also I think really good for me, because it is doing something that takes time, takes practice. It isn't easy.
And I see you've really shown that through. I just got your message that you sent me of your workout experience today. The gym that she goes to, they record videos and put it on Instagram, which I don't know if this is still a thing when you're watching this, but basically getting recorded and is supposed to hype up people for the videos. And you're doing pull-ups, and I've never seen you do a pull-up before, and you did several of them.
I did like 3, okay, and then started to falter. But like, it's important because, you know, I mean, I go to the gym at 6, which is not easy for me, and I just need that encouragement to, you know, keep up and doing those things. And I feel like going to the gym is one of those things that 2020 Stephanie would never have done, because I wouldn't have wanted to fail in front of people. And, you know, at the end of that video, you see that I'm starting to break a little bit on the pull-ups, but I'm not even upset about it. You know, now I'm not.
Because I think, especially in an environment like that, you can see everybody's pushing themselves to the limit. All right, so are you ready to go into Scotch bonnet and ginger?
Yeah, ginger's not my favorite flavor profile. In honor of our 10-year anniversary, what is your favorite memory from our wedding?
I did not think this would be my answer, but then it came to me immediately when you asked it to me the other night. But my favorite memory of the wedding is the reception and when we were dancing. And I think about my Yaya and Pop who have since passed since our wedding and since we did our last Hot Ones.
Mm-hmm.
That they were out strutting their stuff.
They were dancing.
We had like a line set up and they were going to the middle of the line and they were dancing, and get to see everybody do that. That's how I want to remember them.
Mm-hmm.
And not how those last couple of years were. But what about you? What's your favorite memory?
Our rehearsal dinner was so much fun. We had
Yeah.
people give really great speeches.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite memories was after we had actually done the rehearsal of the wedding. My mom and I looked at each other and we said, we did it. Because we're not planners, we're not event planners. And it was just this like, everything's gonna be okay. And something else that I really enjoyed from our wedding, this is not the favorite memory, but my favorite keepsake, touching on what you said, we have that tree that has everybody's thumbprints on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember later, I was like watching something on Pinterest and it was like, or on YouTube or whatever. And it was saying, you know, those kinds of things, like it's a tree and it's got everybody's thumbprints on it as
Yeah.
the leaves. Somebody said like, oh, you know, those things are cheesy. Don't do that anymore. It's overdone. But I really cherish that
Oh, yeah.
because so many people have passed since then. And it's just nice to just still have, you know, a piece of them and it's decoration in our house.
Mm.
So the next one is the Hot Ones Buffalo Hot Sauce.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah. I love buffalo sauce.
How much do you put on there?
A good amount.
We did this last time.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a prompt and we both will point to each other based on who we think the answer applies to.
First one is, who is more likely to fall asleep in front of the TV? Me for sure.
I got a recliner this year. It's changed my life. There is a position and a certain recline. If I'm sitting up, I'm good. But if I reach past a certain spot, I will be asleep in 5 minutes regardless of what we're watching.
And I missed out on some good stuff. You said you watched Jim Gaffigan stand up the other day. It was like actually funny. And I was out within the first 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, Grant and I like comedy shows, and Jim Gaffigan you missed out on. Mike Birbiglia was one that I was just like super touched by. It was one of his older ones,
Oh man,
and you missed out on that one. I will say, if it's football though, I will fall asleep.
that's fair.
That is when I plan my nap time. Is the 2:30 football game, whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right, next one is who swears the most?
I'm trying really
Yeah.
hard, but sometimes you just get your little hook on your jeans stuck on something,
Yeah.
and the only thing that will make you feel better
Mm.
is a swear word under your breath.
What is your favorite replacement swear word around children?
Sometimes I say dead gummit.
I was just about to say that. I always think about my dad growing up and he'd be like, Dag nammit or Dag gummit. And I'd be like, what is he saying? But now I'm like, yeah, I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to say something.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, my mom would say that, and I would be like, ooh, that's a cuss word.
Uh-huh.
And my mom would be like, sound it out with me. Dad, it's not a bad word. Gum, not a bad word. It, not a bad word. Put it all together, still not a bad word. So I'm saving that for when our oldest asks me about it, because I know she will.
Next one, who
Is it getting you?
who is messier? And that's okay.
You've learned to live with it.
Because
In a relationship, there are things that people are better at than others, and they work together to form a cohesive unit. My mom actually told me that growing up, or not growing up, but when her and dad first got married, she was the messier of the two of them, which, if you know my mom at all, you can't even wrap your head around that
I
if
have
you've never
no
been
idea
around
what
her.
that's crazy to me.
Who is the bigger risk taker?
Like you are.
Yes, but I think since we've had kids, we are really trying to dial the risk back. You know, I traded the motorcycle for a golf cart which then we also sell the golf cart in for the house anyways. But trying to dial it back because I want to be around for our kids and for you especially.
I need you.
I know.
Who is the better cook? Now, if it comes to breakfast,
If it's breakfast, it's all you.
if it's anything else,
Probably me.
it's definitely you. And at this point in life, I don't really feel like our kids appreciate that they have a home cooked meal almost every single night, and it's actually like a really good home cooked meal.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're just like, ugh. But one day they will be like, my mom makes the best XYZ.
I know. Right now, I think our kids would say like, "Mom makes the best microwave hot dog." I said if I ever did a TED Talk, my TED Talk would be on how to cook an amazing meal that your kids will not eat.
Yeah. All right. And lastly, who has the bigger sweet tooth?
I'm gonna say you.
Unfortunately, it is me.
I think that our love of sugar is a generational sin that goes back a couple generations, and I blame my grandfather for it.
But
It's definitely not your fault.
It's definitely not my fault, but I love chocolate.
I love chocolate too.
Yeah.
I think ever since I was able to start, ever since I moved out of my parents' house and I did my own grocery shopping, like, I can have chocolate in the house whenever I want.
Los Calientes Rojo.
Which one is this one? This one?
This is one we've had for many years. We had it on the show last time, I think, too. Or did we have Verde?
I don't know. So we use the Verde one all the time.
Yeah.
It's like what
It's
I
the
put.
best taco soup accompanying
Yeah.
sauce of all time. It's been pretty comfortable up to this point. I think it's about to cook up after these two.
Yeah.
Because these two, we only had a little bit the other night, and it was hot. And we know that this is a doozy.
What's your favorite movie?
Before I answer, what do you think my favorite movie is?
It's a Lord of the Rings movie.
It's not a Lord of the Rings movie, it's the Lord of the Rings trilogy extended edition. Easy answer. Thank you. Put a stamp on it. I love the fantasy genre, especially as I've gotten older. I also like going back and especially listening to the books. Andy Serkis does a great Lord of the Rings audiobook. And speaking of which, I don't know, we'll segue into this here in a minute, but I'll try to see if there's some curiosity sparked in the girls. And obviously Luke's too small now, but some curiosity sparked in the girls for fantasy as well. So I've gone through and I've made an audiobook of me reading the first Harry Potter book to the girls. And they've gotten so excited about it, they actually have been doing their own voices for Hermione, and I've actually clipped it in. They've got something what's called a Tony's box, which has a little character on it and plays X amount of minutes on it of a story. So I broke up the book into a chapter, and then I would go through and do the voices and create characters. And I'm especially excited because I just did the last chapter a couple days ago, and I think my Voldemort voice really showing out.
But you said it hurt.
Voldemort and Hagrid voices are really hard.
Very raspy.
Well, Hagrid, I always kind of considered, at first he kind of came out like a pirate, like, "Arr, Harry!" like that. But then Voldemort's was more like, "Kill him!"
That's a lot.
And so it was like, drag it on here a little bit. So I would record him like sip water. One time Gabby was sitting with me and I was doing a Hagrid part and I had to stop and she's like, "Dad, let me get you some water." All right, what about you? What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is It's Complicated.
You're sticking with It's Complicated.
I'm gonna say It's Complicated or maybe Just Friends. Those two movies are great. I love them. But I think It's Complicated might be my favorite. I can pick it out 3 seconds into the like intro music.
yeah,
And I just love that. It makes me, I don't know, it's not like a feel-good movie because there is divorce in it and there's like cheating, but it's also really funny. John
They're making very
Krasinski's,
light.
John Krasinski's in it. And he's not really famous yet, so he's still kind of Jim, which is nice.
yeah.
And so I just really like that movie. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, I think it's like a Nancy Meyers movie, and she always makes really pretty sets and everything. And so I just really, really love that movie.
All right, so we're past the halfway point. We're gonna get into Pico Rico. So on the subject of Harry Potter, if you're not familiar, there are 4 different Hogwarts houses. Which house do you belong? Did you not finish your chicken?
I wanted to answer this question and then I'll finish eating it.
Now, viewers at home, y'all take a guess. Which house do you think Stephanie's a part of?
So I always grew up thinking that I probably belonged in Hufflepuff or maybe even Gryffindor. But we went and took the Pottermore test, which is
Online.
and
It's official.
It's the official test. And it turns out that I'm a Slytherin. I really still don't see exactly where I'm a Slytherin, and I don't appreciate that every Slytherin that's mentioned in the book is kind of evil.
Do you like being in Slytherin?
I mean, I guess I have to have some sort of pride in it, you know? Like, I was like, I tried taking the test again, and it won't let me. So
It's been decided. The hat has sorted you.
Yeah, so I have to just stick with it, and I have to make the best of it.
You go ahead and finish your wing, and I'll take my turn.
So, a Slytherin. What about you?
Very unsurprisingly,
Very unsurprisingly.
I got Gryffindor.
Wow, how original.
There came a time where Gabby thought that I was Harry Potter and that I went to Hogwarts.
And that she's waiting for you to show up in the story because you're not Hermione.
So also on Pottermore, you get to find out what your Patronus is. If you're not familiar with the terminology of what a Patronus is, it is a spell that you cast to protect you from Dementors. What animal did your Patronus take?
So you take a test for it. So we did our houses, and then we did the Patronus test. And we did this right after we read all the books.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we had read and listened to all the books, and we were so excited. And some of the animals are super cute. And so I was like, well, at least I'll have a cute Patronus.
Yeah, like rabbits and
There's
otters.
an otter.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want an otter. And it turns out that my Patronus is a vulture. Or
Squawk,
a squawk.
as our kids would call it.
Yeah. Now, I will say, as far as protecting you from a Dementor, I guess you want like maybe a bear or a vulture.
Yeah. It'd scare anybody that way.
Yeah. But I was very let down in my 2 tests.
My Patronus, me thinking it's going to be a stag. It's going to be a bear or a lion. What did I get?
You got a beautiful swan.
I got a swan. And at first,
You know, as I had been laughing at you about your vulture, I got a swan and you were about to turn the jokes on me, but I said no. What a beautifully elegant creature. Majestic. Maybe you'd run away from a swan. Overgrown goose.
My vulture would help your swan.
that's true.
So now we get an interactive portion here. We're going to, let's go ahead and,
Should we eat?
yeah, let's eat
Which one are we on? These
Melinda's
are-
Red Savina. So the next 3 are all Melinda's, and they all get progressively hotter.
And I will say, all of these, you can find the Melinda's ones at like Walmart and or Publix. And they're all pretty spicy.
Did you need more sauce for yours?
I do need some more in this one. That's way spicier.
Is it?
You can feel it turning up a little bit.
On this wing, as the extra heat is coursing through our veins, they have a section of the show called Explain That Graham, which we turned into Look at That Book.
We're going to look at this picture here first.
Y'all are now seeing this picture of me with the Cracker Barrel triangle game. And it says winner. but I'm not the winner.
How does that game normally work?
You try and get rid of all the pegs on the triangle
By jumping over each piece.
by jumping over them. And I don't know how, but I think I got the lowest possible score you could get on that game. I think the game on the thing calls me an ignoramus.
I think it says that on like if you leave 4.
I don't even want to know what it says about me.
And you have 6.
So, you know, I'm not proud of that, but also I think I should be a little proud of it because I'm sure not many people get that score. But this is the picture I've chosen for you.
There have been times that there were weddings like my buddy Al's wedding where Ellie was going to be born the same weekend that his wedding was. I didn't think I was going to get to go. I didn't order the tux. Oh, excuse me. But she ended up coming a week early. I went, I just grabbed a similar color outfit and then went down there. Very obvious. I was not prepared. All my clothes were oversized. It looked ridiculous. But I was super glad I got to be there for that and for him and for Autumn. It was amazing. So for Zach's wedding, that this picture is from, I did everything right. I knew I was going to a wedding. There was no kids coming during this time. Like I had plenty of time to be getting prepared. So I went and got sized, went to the proper place. There's no information that I have to give other than I'm in the Brantley wedding. Here's my name. Here are my sizes. Bada bing, bada boom. And they gave me the wrong color. And so I ruined all of their wedding pictures because I'm just sticking out like a sore thumb.
But it's a great suit. You've worn it so many times.
I have.
It's a wonderful suit.
Because, and I'm sure Zach might see this, but typically in weddings I've been in, you rent the suit, right? You rent the tux, you give it back. We bought these. And I remember being like, Zach, why am I buying this for your wedding? But I'm sorry I even thought that because I've literally worn that thing probably like 24 times since that wedding.
To every special occasion.
Every special occasion, wedding, funeral, whatever in between. All right, for the last picture, we're gonna do a me and you picture. And what's going on here? Where are we?
We are at one of my favorite events that COVID has gotten rid of. It's the Italian Food Festival. And the Italian Food Festival is this festival at this huge Catholic church that's right outside our neighborhood that we moved to. And I mean, it's full of vendors and awesome Italian food, but there's also something called limoncello at this.
What's limoncello?
Limoncello is this nasty alcoholic beverage that everyone else says is good, and it tastes like lemon and rubbing alcohol. And everybody else is like, ooh, limoncello, I love this. You should try it. And then I tried it, and it's awful.
And that was the picture of the aftermath of you trying it.
Yes.
And me laughing and cackling in the background.
Are you ready for the next kick up? Melinda's Scorpio.
Oh, this one smells.
Yeah.
This one smells. It's got a scent.
It's a 2-part question. And you can think about it while we're talking.
Yeah, because my mouth is on fire.
First part is, what was your favorite childhood TV show? Would you like me to answer while you think on that?
Go ahead, because I don't know if I can talk right now.
One of my favorites was Batman the Animated Series. Came out early 90s, right after Michael Keaton's 1989 Batman came out, which was my favorite movie for forever. Oh my goodness. Oh!
Really hard.
But the style in which it was shot and the action and the stories, I would say for the...
You're emotional thinking about it.
Yeah, that's what that is. I'd say for the non-casual Batman fan, that is universally the correct answer when everybody says, what's your favorite Batman iteration? Oh man, that came in hard there at the end.
The jump between these two?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna jump.
Why don't you answer that while I ponder on this?
You got what? It's a toss-up between Even Stevens and the Lizzie McGuire show.
Oh, those are fun.
I love those shows.
I watched both of them unashamedly. I think Lauren did too.
I really love Even Stevens.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf's great in it. I had a huge crush on him. I thought he was so cute.
That's why you married me.
I really like. My nose is starting to run.
I'm right there with you. We're gonna work through this together. We got 8 sauces back, 2 to go. Focus on the answer.
All right, so I really had a huge crush on Shia LaBeouf. I thought he was just so cute and just funny, and I just really liked him. His character was just silly. I don't even remember that many of the stories. I really liked Ren in that show. I really wanted to be like her. Kim Possible. I really wanted to be like her, even though we weren't similar at all. She was very much perfectionist and all that, big sister. And I was just not that. But I really wanted to be like her. But then on the opposite side, I really loved Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, you could relate a little bit more to that maybe. Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah, and she was just kind of like, she was like a fashionista, which I wasn't because, I mean, my parents were buying my clothes.
Fashionista.
But she was. Have you ever seen the Stuff by Duff line at Walmart?
I didn't even know that existed.
It was like a Lizzie McGuire, Hillary Duff clothing line at Walmart. So you could get clothes that looked like Hillary Duff stuff on Lizzie McGuire, but like at a Walmart price. And anyways, but I just really
I remember her dressing super weird in the show.
But it was like millennial core fashion. Like stuff in the show, like it was weird, but that was how everybody wanted to dress. And I just really wanted to be like her.
On the subject of that, Even Stevens I especially liked because you had Shia LaBeouf's character as the younger brother, and then Lauren being the older character of Ren. We watched it. I enjoyed it a lot. I've followed Shia's career since then. Taken a lot of twists and turns along the way, but he's done some solid stuff. We mentioned him in the last show too. He's still got one of the probably top 3 favorite Hot Ones episodes.
Yeah, I would say he's probably one of my favorites.
And you eat as much of that as you want. You got nobody to impress.
I was gonna ask you,
Okay.
what's another one of your favorite Hot Ones?
Recently or overall?
Just overall. I know you mentioned Shia LaBeouf last time.
The Paul Rudd.
One I think is where the show really turned.
It sure did.
Is where the show turned, and I think it started to really become popular because you had an A-list celebrity on there, and he was having so much fun and playing off of Sean really well. Recently, I really liked the Tim Dillon one. I mean, that literally came out just a couple days ago. I mean, Tim Dillon is a very polarizing character that you got to get behind his character if you want to enjoy that show. But he stayed in character, as my buddy Leon would say, the entire time, and I appreciated that. I also really liked Dave Grohl when he was on the show because he was drinking the entire time and making Sean drink and taking Sean off of his game, which I enjoyed.
I like that Dave Grohl was a fan of Hot Ones. So, you know, I know the show's gotten big, but I really appreciated that he just knew everything about the show.
Yeah, he knew all the bits. He knew what was coming.
I like Food Network star people. Andrew Zimmern was a really good one. But I would say my recent favorite one was Theo Von. It's not, and I think that was an old one, but it was just the one we went back and watched. There's
something about that Cajun dude.
He
just gets me rolling.
I just love it. So he is my favorite.
So, Stephanie, as you know, we have 4 kids. Oh.
And caught you. You just said it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Oh, man. Thinking about them gets me so emotional. Got my tears. What show do you enjoy watching with them?
I'm going to say, now that we have Disney Plus, and we can go back and watch shows, I really like watching Bear in the Big Blue House with them. I like the puppetry.
Yes.
I do too, of course.
It's just fun to watch. I love the puppetry. And it's not a cartoon. It's not one of those like CGI weird Spidey and his amazing friends.
Just people making a lot of effort to bring puppets to life and hold kids' attention. They have a huge set.
It's amazing. Something I would never have thought of as a kid was like the set and how they get everything to work.
I love watching how they make Blue work. And you can see they have a hand in here for his head. And they've got one arm.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little string
Mm-hmm.
that moves the other arm around.
Yeah,
My easy answer is to say Bluey.
because it's a
Because
work
it's
of
amazing
art.
television. I really enjoyed going back and rewatching the Toy Story movies with the girls because we brought Woody and Buzz and Jesse into the house too. And the way I did it is I had them strategically hidden in the house for them to find. And I don't know when the kids are going to watch this, but we created the story that Woody and Buzz were my toys growing up and Jesse was
Your toy going up. I did
have
have
a Woody and a Buzz. It was not these two. And so they hold an extra special place in their hearts for these toys, and they take care of them, and they'll always be set up nicely in the house. It's super sweet. I especially love it when Elle's 2 right now, when Toy Story starts, and he goes, "It's Buzz! It's Buzz!"
She loves Buzz.
I'm ready to do this because I want my milkshake. Okay.
Got a cookies and cream Chick-fil-A milkshake waiting.
and I think I've put
for us.
enough in these.
This is more than a dab.
This is Hot Ones, the last dab, Apollo.
And it's made with something I hadn't heard of before, which is the Apollo pepper. I don't know anything about that. It sounds terrible.
It does, but we're gonna go in for this one. And we got one question left.
I see you.
Which one was your favorite?
I'm either gonna say the buffalo just because I like buffalo, but I also really like this green one.
Oh. Just don't cough, Grant. Don't cough.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I think that's what you said on the last one too.
Oh, it's so bad.
All right.
It's so. I don't want to put it in my body. You gotta give me a second. This is what I imagine drinking gasoline would taste like.
It definitely has a chemical feel to
And
it.
it's chemically, you know, it's not natural.
It's not pleasant. Okay. So we are down to our last question. We've made it. I think I'm sweating through my shirt.
That was terrible.
You want it again? Oh, no, you're just eating chicken.
I'm just gonna eat chicken, see if I can get the taste out of my mouth.
What is one piece of advice
It hurts my lips.
that you would give to new parents? Maybe parents of 1, 2, 3, or 4 kids, since you can give your opinion on all of those.
I feel really bad because this week I was at this Bible study and I think I said the wrong thing the whole time. But a lady was like, I'm having my 4th child after I'd mentioned I had 4.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, it's like really hard the first few weeks.
I think we universally say, though, get to 6 months.
We're almost there.
With Luke, yeah.
Yeah. My mouth is on fire. My advice that I normally give, because I want to give something that not everybody says, it's normally like trust your gut, okay? But then like the other one is, I always tell people to have a nice grouping of funny shows to watch. Because you're going to stay up all night.
You're talking about post-pregnancy.
Post-pregnancy, postpartum, just have a funny collection of shows or movies or whatever. Because it's hard. The baby blues are real. You know, you do feel sad a lot. You are sometimes alone feeding your kid at night. You're tired. But if you have something to look forward to or something that you think is funny to watch, that will just kind of like lift your spirits, I think that's good advice to have. The first with Gabby, you and I rewatched Game of Thrones. And I felt like I was just on an emotional roller coaster, partly because of hormones, but then also because like that is a really horrific show.
Yep, with a horrific ending.
Yeah. Whew.
I burped. I didn't want to burp.
My lips hurt. But then I kind of got smarter and I decided the next kid, or no, actually even with Gabby, I think I realized I was doing this to myself a little bit. And with Gabby, I started watching The New Girl.
Mhm.
And even though it's not like the funniest show, I still really felt better after watching it. And I think that's why I feel like it's a special show to me.
And then that transformed into what show that you watched?
I watched The Office. So I watched The
That's
Office.
3.
Yeah, I watched The Office a lot.
So your advice would be is to have a
Having-
place to have joy in the midst of all of the chaos of
Yeah,
raising kids.
have something that you look forward to.
I would say give both yourself and your kids ample amounts of grace.
Mm-hmm.
God gives you an infinite amount of grace. And I'm learning more and more about that every day. Because what happens is, and I've seen it with our kids, if a bad thing happens that they do, they can let that ruin the entire rest of their day.
Mm-hmm.
And we are no different than that. And unless we come and humbly and say, hey, I messed up, either to them or to each other or whatever it is, it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better until you have that resolution.
So grace and humility would be my advice for sure.
Now, would you like me to get our milkshakes?
I would like for you to get our milkshakes.
All right, hold that thought. Well, Stephanie, we've reached the end of Hot Ones. We've now cooled off with this milkshake. We've shared some amazing discussion, things we knew about each other, maybe some things we didn't know. Maybe some things that now you know. We have nothing else to do at this point other than roll out the red carpet. You've got this camera, and this camera. Why don't you tell the world what's going on with you in 2025?
Right now, it is summer 2025, and I have loaded our schedule up with camps. So that means I'm waking up early and getting the kids out the door, going to camp, driving to camp, taking them and picking them right back up.
And sometimes participating in the camps.
Sometimes
You have
participating.
VBS, and then now we're in dance. Next week is tennis.
Yeah,
There's going to be another VBS.
yeah. There's a little bit of a tiny little break here and there, but I've kind of loaded up some things for us to do, like we're going swimming and doing that kind of stuff. So I put a lot on my plate this summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's been good. It's also been a little stressful. What else do I have going on? Going to the gym,
Yep.
going to church,
Yep.
hanging out with you a little bit, staying
little
up
bit.
way too late.
Yeah, we do that because that's the only time we get to each other.
Yeah, so those are things. Father's Day is coming up,
Yep,
so got a date coming up.
that's right. This is technically a parents' night out right
Yeah.
now. This is what you got to do when you have 4 kids. You got to
Yeah.
be creative.
Just drop them off at church and run.
This was how many weeks of preparation would you say it was to get to this?
I would say 3.
Illusion.
All right, what about you?
What do I have going on?
Mhm.
I have a new book coming out. It's going to be out in September. It's called How to Have Explosive Diarrhea with Grant Brackeen, starring these hot
I was
sauces.
about to say, don't say that.
At this point in life, majority of my time is spent working and then playing chess and then loving our kids, loving you, and doing that all over again.
Mhm.
And in between that, the reason why we have all this equipment is because we've been shooting some podcasts and some side shows. Mostly for fun, but we'll see how it goes. But I hope whenever our kids watch this that they don't remember me as just somebody who worked all the time, but somebody like today who got to go be there for their dance recital and stuff like that. Because I don't think life is meant to be spent sitting in front of a computer for 10 hours a day. In the show, they talk about it being like almost a out of body like experience. I definitely felt like that those last 3.
Really?
Like I was just kind of hanging in there by a thread.
No, I felt like I was really in my body and it was on fire.
You know, there's part of me that was worried it wasn't going to be hot enough.